Yes, got it here. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's 4:30 and I'm popping on in for my video of the day. Now, shooting this one here live, but it'll go out in a little bit. But I want to get started for the folks that get on here. And now y'all got to remember, when on the phone, the chat is open for everybody. So we'll have some stragglers come in here. So unless we get a moderator, so I glance down every now and then just see if it's any questions or anything I need to touch on. But when I'm on here on the phone, the chat open, so God bless you. So every now and then we have the stragglers come in, and it'll just be, you know, sometimes you see how they be on here. And yeah, I eat boiled peanuts now. I don't know what that means now. But God bless you. Thank you for that gift that somebody sent. Yeah, we're gonna have to rebuke them. Sent trophy cake. I don't know what that is now, but God bless you for that. Polk County, Angel Lux. So I saw the somebody sent me the updates, and y'all, let me put my phone on do not disturb. Okay, got my phone on do not disturb. Somebody sent me the updates on the Karmelo Anthony case, and for one, I'm glad they fighting it just to express their side and get their side out there and doing that. And all right now, Sophia, we sure get you on the moderator team. Now, when I see you a little more, it's my first time seeing you, so keep your head up, keep going. And they showed the updates on the gentleman, and depending on how big the town is that they live in, the young man who was killed could have a reputation. If you a thug, if you a bully, if you racist, and the town is not that big, you could have a reputation. And when I came on my other video, I was like, hey, ain't no excuse for taking somebody's life at a track meet. Why did you even have a knife at a track meet? And all of that right there. And we'll never know the full details. We'll never know what was said before this. And these individuals is not going to say everything that was said. We'll never know if it was set up for him to go over there, for them to fight. If something was said at the last track meet or at another game or at another thing and they had history, we'll never know. But the thing about it is, when you see this type of stuff, if you are a parent, if aunt or uncle, whatever, you have to take a lesson from it. Especially if you know your children will be in a situation like that, to where they could be out there and doing those type of things. You have to be mindful of that and be able to express to them, hey, this how you handle these type of situations, because these two everyday young men, and it's this young lady said she live in Frisco. It's bad, even the stores. What you mean by even the stores? You mean like raggedy stores, or the tension in the stores, people look at each other crazy? Or and Frisco, that's where the crime happened at. So that, let me see, and it look like it say 500 diamonds up here. I don't know what that little diamond is, what that means. And follow you around if you black. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, nah. Yeah, that does happen. That does happen. Hey, God bless you. Oh, that 500. Oh, it's a gift of money. I know it ain't $500 though. I don't know what that is. It might be 5 cents. Okay. Just signed up for the Purpose Pushers. All right, now, sister. God bless you. The link is in the description for the Purpose Pushers. But it's one of those things where you got to have those conversations, because this can start to happen, and it can happen to any young man, and it can be a lot going on. Win and walk with Chris say he go to Frisco and no problems at all, and it's one of those things to where it's unfortunate the young man lost his life. And no, not San Fran, Frisco, Texas, but this is something that could continue to happen. And to be honest with you, it could have already happened since then and just didn't make national news. And there's going to be, you got to remember, social media intensifies everything. My son has a few different social media accounts, and one of his accounts, he has 30, 40,000 followers. And sometimes he posts and he get a lot of hate in the comments. Sometimes guys just jealous, hating, oh you this, oh you that. And it's like, what if he get a comment from somebody and then he bump into that boy at the game, bump into that boy at the mall, and they want to square up, and one of them got something on them. So this type of stuff can continue to happen, and so you got to be able to pull the lessons from it. And what they saying is the young white kid who was killed had a history of racism. Say him and his brother got in trouble for spray painting, graffiti, and they spray painted KKK, kill all blacks. They say he got in trouble on record. This stuff on record that was released, fighting girls. One of the girls say he slammed her to the ground, punched her in the stomach. Say he also was kicked out of a football game for his anger and aggression. He also was banned from attending basketball games, from yelling out obscenities and profanity. He also was on record at school getting in trouble, having to do in-school suspensions, getting in trouble for calling a teacher the B word and repeatedly and cursing, and told the school administrator that he didn't even realize what was coming out of his mouth and that he can't control it. So the way they painting it right now and what they showing right now, it's like it's almost too much, because not Karmelo, the white kid. It's almost too much because they're gonna start trying to say that the young man who lost his life had mental health issues, because they put out there that he told the administrator he didn't realize that he was calling the teacher the B word. This is the white kid. What's the white kid name? Anybody know his name? I don't want to keep calling him the white kid, just like the white girl who assaulted that football player. I don't know nothing about that one now. And so they're gonna say that he got mental health issues. Austin. Okay, Austin. And so that's one of those things. And because they say he said he didn't know what he was saying to the teacher. But I'm gonna tell you like this right here. As a man, and this one thing that every person need to know about a man, and I need you to know this, Austin Metcalf, okay. I need you to know this about your son. I need you to know this about your brother. I need you to know this about your father. Every man Q&A. I need you to know this. Every man will take a life. Every man. And cause see the thing with yes, we talk about these men having these issues and stuff like that. But when you look at a lot of these men on the news that take lives, a lot of them look like guys who was overlooked in school, guys who was mistreated, guys who was this or that. So you got to realize that anybody could take a life, any man for sure. And so you have to understand that you got to talk to your son about that. And I'm gonna tell you this right here. And you right now, there is a different law for black people, and I know that sound race card and all of that, but it's true. And I know it for a fact because my uncle is doing 40 years for $10 worth of weed and $10 worth of cocaine. And I went to a white guy that I know that is on the clemency board, and I told him my uncle doing 40 years because he took it to trial instead of accepting the time that he was offered, which was a year and a day. He took it to trial trying to say that it wasn't him who sold the drugs to the undercover agent. They threw the book at him, and he doing 40 years, gotta serve 28. And he's already served about 20 years. Every appeal he put in got denied. He's trying to do something else right now. It probably will get denied. And this out of Polk County, Florida. And now, so here's the thing now. The man, George Zimmerman, who took the life of Trayvon Martin, who did not attack George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman got off. Karmelo Anthony did not walk this gentleman down, but he took his life and he ain't get off. Now, if they start to bring in the George Zimmerman reference and all of that stuff right there, and they showing what they showing, they probably gonna get Karmelo Anthony's sentence reduced. Now, this the thing with me. And that's the same thing. I wonder why it wasn't brought up during the trial, because and that's the thing, you gotta, for me, being mature, I have to be able to change my assessment when I get new information. So I don't just side with somebody because they black, and then I don't just stick to what I said if I get new information. So with this new information, I think it's going to get him a reduced sentence. I don't think he's going to get off, but I think it's going to get him a reduced sentence. But this what they got. The thing is they could try to say Austin Metcalf had mental health issues and try to say, no, we not changing anything, and he ain't do nothing. And so they'll try to come up with something now. They'll try that angle. And the other thing is too, they run the risk of this being premeditated. They're gonna run the risk, and they have to be careful with that, because with him having a little blade on him at the track meet, and him going to their tent, and him knowing who he was dealing with, to the point that he said, touch me and watch what happened, they might try to change and say, oh, this was premeditated. He in the city, he already knew that this kid was racist and was a bully, and so he was ready for him. He brought that knife ready for this kid. They're gonna say that. The not the defense, the prosecutor, they're gonna say that. And watch and see. And this what you got. And so it's the thing is like when you go to doing them appeals and all of that, it get messy. It get messy. It get uglier. Because they're gonna try to say that because otherwise it's no reason to have a knife and use a knife against this kid unless you already knew him, knew of him, knew his reputation, and you was already in fear of your life. Because me personally, I've never seen a black boy be afraid of a white boy. I've never seen a black boy feel like he had to use a weapon against a white boy. Like, we naturally stronger. We naturally more athletic. We naturally tougher. We naturally come from a different walk of life. So it seemed like he would have had to know the other boy reputation to feel like he had to use a knife on him. Because in most cases, a black boy just would have squared up with him and just went to blows. Went to kicking, and the knife would have never been pulled. To me, as a man, as somebody who done had to fight, as somebody who done been in the streets, as somebody who done been out there, it's like it's not it's almost like he had to be scared to death to pull that knife. Like he had to be scared. And we see your thing. We know he was invited to the tent. But the thing is like these are kids. So a kid don't see a white boy like a racist tyrant. They're not. You ain't looking at him like Bill Duke, you know, the Grand Master of the Ku Klux Klan. Like, you might know he don't like black people, but you ain't looking at him like no Ku Klux Klan Grand Master Klan lyncher. And so it had to be something else. It had to be to where he knew the boy reputation, he knew the boy's strength, he seen the boy fight before, because they say this kid Austin Metcalf was fighting at all the events that he was getting into. He got banned from the basketball, he got kicked out the football game. Like, your reputation precedes you. It ain't hard for people to know about you and to know who you are and how you move. So it's a good possibility Carmelo Anthony already heard about this boy, already knew how he get down, already knew how he moved, and that's why he had that knife right there. That's why he pulled that knife, because he probably assumed if I try to go to blows, this boy bigger than me, he's stronger than me, he gonna whoop me. If he body slam me and go to kicking me in my head, and his brother jump on me, and he go to, you know, kicking me in my head too, I'm gonna get whooped. I'm gonna be on TikTok. I'm gonna be on Snapchat getting beat up, and that'll push you to stab somebody. That will, to avoid that embarrassment, to avoid being bullied, to avoid being beat to a pulp, to avoid being jumped. That will make you stab somebody if you got it on you. And it's a blade. It was not no track tool, because you can't. A track tool ain't even a cleat tool, not even built like that. And so it's one of them things. And Ralph, you shut your dumb behind up and get off the lie, boy. We talking about on average. We ain't talking about the exception to the rule. On average, a white boy will get dog stomped by a black boy. That's why white boys don't mess with black boys. We know it's white boys that can fight, but who is the world champions? Floyd Mayweather. Who the greatest MMA fighter? John Bon Jones. Who fighting John Bon Jones? Who fighting him? Muhammad Ali. It's a reason that we don't get messed with. And so that's what you got to realize. In this case, the boy Austin was a bigger kid. He was bigger. He was stronger. He was also crazy. Because now that they releasing his records, it's showing that he was crazy. In the sense, and when I say crazy, I don't mean literally, meaning he was a hothead. Because y'all also got to think about this, and a lot of people don't act like they ain't never been to school before. After I got arrested in the 9th grade, my parents made me go to a private school, which was predominantly white. The thing about it is, I'll look into that Mackenzie Shallow. I don't know who that is. I haven't heard anything about that. The thing about it is, I've never in my life seen, and I played football in high school and went to college on a full football scholarship. I've never in my life seen a white boy get kicked out the game and get banned. So he had to have a different type of mental makeup. I've never seen a white boy get banned from the basketball games. Like all this stuff they saying about Austin, I went to school with all white boys from 10th through 12th grade. I'd never seen that happen. So he had to have a reputation for being a hothead. And to be honest with you, I think that Karmelo knew about the boy reputation. And that's why it went to what it went to. Because if he didn't know about the reputation and that reputation didn't precede Austin, I think he would have just squared up with him and say, okay, let's just fight. And just like that. But think about how these boys are being raised by social media to where people saying he was afraid of getting jumped. So why not just get up and leave the tent? Why not just walk away? If you're afraid of getting jumped, if you're afraid of getting beat up, why not just walk away? But this rap music, and that's what I try to tell my son. And you listening to NBA Youngboy, and now you think you tough. You listening to 21 Savage, and now you think you tough. Like, a real man knows he dangerous, and he'll walk away to save somebody's life, because he knows he'll take a life. So he will walk away to save a life. And so Karmelo had to know this boy background. And the thing about it is, the word travel fast. It's just like when you in the streets. If you in the streets and you a killer, everybody in the streets know who the killers are. Everybody in the streets know who the robbers are. If you in a county in sports, everybody know who the dog is. Everybody know who the best athlete is. Everybody know who the fighters are. Everybody know who the troublemakers are. Everybody know that. Like, the word travel fast. Everybody know that. The Ghetto Boys. Is that Willie D? Was he in the Ghetto Boys? I'm trying to go on his podcast. He ain't answering. And so everybody know the word travel fast. So when people say Karmelo didn't know Austin, he probably ain't know him. He might didn't know him personally, but he probably knew exactly his reputation. He gonna know that. And so that's what you're gonna realize. And you're right, their brains ain't fully formed yet. And that's why this happened. But even the ones whose brain is fully formed, it still happened. And it take a long time to get beyond your ego. As a male, It takes a long time to get beyond your ego. And that's why I try to tell y'all, like, I'm still not out the woods. And I hate to speak that, but it's the truth. I'm still not out the woods because you can take somebody's life. And womanish, I don't even know what you talking about, but I know you finna get blocked. I'm talking about cut it out, Tony. I don't know what you talking about. So don't come in. Yeah, y'all gotta put your comment in the thing with context, cause you will get blocked. Coming in here running your mouth. So you better come in here and hush. And so, cause all I said about my son is I told him, listen to NBA YoungBoy, you think you're tough. And that's how that works. That's the truth. And these rappers will get you killed because you're thinking you're tough and you don't want to walk away, you don't want to back down and go on about your business, you will get hurt. And so this the thing, and a lot of people not looking at that. And Renee just said it. Both had issues because, for one, the Austin Metcalf, the white kid, you're out here getting expelled from the basketball games, getting kicked out the football games, getting in school suspension for calling your teacher the B word, body slamming girls, punching the girls. That's issues. That's mental health issues. Your average, everyday, typical white boy is not doing that. Typical boy, regardless of color, is not doing that. With Karmelo, this the thing. A lot of people not thinking of logically. We all were high schoolers. How many of us know a boy who had a knife and killed somebody at a sporting event? That is not a common thing. Like, I ran track, I played football, and I played basketball. There was never a murder in all of the events. I played football in college. There was never a murder at a game. The only murder at a sporting event that I've ever seen, ain't never seen it, heard about it, was in from where I'm from, Haines City, Florida, where one dad got into an argument with another dad at a youth football game, pulled out a gun, shot and killed the other dad. Never at a youth sporting event have I seen one youth take the life of another youth. That's not a common occurrence. It's not happening every week, every month, every year. And so that's what you got to realize is both of them had some things going on, and now one of them is dead and one of them is fighting for his freedom, for his future. And we got to take a lesson from that and share it with the youth of how quickly things can go south, how quickly things can happen. And now they finna bring out all this stuff on the Austin. And the thing about it is, it's Haines City. You got to remember I'm country now. Jessica, you can't listen to me regular now. Haines, Haines, Haines City. And so, Win and Walk with Chris. I'm trying to see if Win and Walk with Chris is a man or a woman or black or white. But they know a lot about Frisco. They in the comments a lot about Frisco. And yeah, I that was a sundown town, and my mama be talking about that sundown town. It's like, sundown or not, you pull up behind me and it's dark and you try to run me off the road, I'm finna start busting out that window. You finna take some swords. I'm not trying to hit them about no sundown town, because we all could shoot. It's like, so I don't see that kind of stuff. I know y'all be on a deep dark back web and be talking about that stuff, but I never see that on my news. And every time I'm talking about, what, Tony, what about the people getting hung? I never seen that on my news. I never seen nothing about it. So y'all, when y'all see somebody get hung in a sundown town, send it to me. DM me on Instagram so I can see what you talking about and see if it's a reputable news station. I saw the one situation with the boy in college at the school, and this stuff happened. That stuff happened, and I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what's happening. And y'all see, you could just read the comments and just see how information work. One person say Austin was arrested for whooping on his daddy. The next person say, well, they say the daddy was whooping on the mama, and then Austin jumped on the daddy. And I've seen that. My two cousins whooped their daddy behind because he was whooping on their mama. And they took him out there in that front yard and beat the brakes off their daddy. And so I've seen that. And so you have to think about this, and you got to extract the lesson from it. And the thing about it, for me, if I done been at sporting events, I never had a track tool that could kill somebody. I've never had a knife on me. I've been in a college classroom with a gun on me when I was in the streets, but also going to school to get the refund checks. I have been on the college campus with a gun on me, and nothing happened. To God be the glory. If somebody would have tried me or it would have went there, then something could have happened. So I can understand some people have a little type of weapons on them. But I'm gonna tell you this right here, what a lot of people are afraid to say. Being sat down could save your life. Because if Karmelo had that weapon on him and he gets into a fight, he get into an altercation, and he have to use this weapon. If it didn't happen that time, it just could have happened the next week or the next week or the next week. And so a lot of times being sat down, it saves your life. My uncle doing 40 years, but it was men that was coming to my grandma's house looking for him, who wanted to do him harm, because they were saying he was stealing their money because he was the town mechanic, and they were saying, I paid him and he have not fixed my car. And it's been X amount of weeks and my car's still out here, but my money is gone. And he told me he was gonna buy the part, but the money was gone. My uncle was on drugs. So what was being said is that he was getting the money, saying, I need this amount of money to go to AutoZone and buy the part. But instead of going and buying the part, they say he was going and getting high. And men was coming. I remember being at my grandma's house and men coming, and they coming in the door, and they talking to my grandma, and they like, Miss Lou Emma, if it wasn't for you, your son will be dead. And so I honestly believe my uncle going to prison saved his life. And as bad as he wanted to get out, it gave him the time to sit down and to get out the way. And so the thing about it is, if what happened with Karmelo didn't happen then, it probably most likely would have happened at another time. Because if that's your mindset, to pull out a weapon and stab somebody when you haven't been punched in the eye yet, you haven't been punched in the mouth yet. Like, you got to remember, Karmelo had no bumps and bruises. So he got off early. Like, he whipped that knife out quick. Like, we ain't see him with no black eyes, no blood, no none of that. And that's exactly what I'm saying. The Kesia, I believe he had to be scared to death. And I honestly believe the only way you're gonna be scared to death as a black boy of a white boy is if you know that white boy reputation, and you know he crazy, you know he get down with it, you know he put hands on people. And this is what a lot of people forget, is that a lot of people forget. The thing about it is, you have to realize that if the boy Austin was out there fighting and beating up people, it's no telling how many times he was fighting and beating up people and didn't get caught. So he could have already had a reputation that people didn't even know about. He could already had that reputation that he already beating people up. That what we had one dummy just come in here and say, calling me dumb. Thank you, Joya, for Joya. Only me and you could see that because you a moderator. On my end, it said it gotta be open. So stay out the chat, dummy. Don't come on here calling me dumb. Shut your dumb behind up and listen. And don't think I'm one of them other creators where you come over here and say what you want to say. And you better watch yourself now. Cause the Lord, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. The Lord got my back. Be done rolled off a bridge out here running your mouth. Shut your mouth. And don't come over here calling people names now. Some calling me dumb. Listen, listen, I ain't never been bullied. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I ain't never been bullied. And I don't put up with no bullying. I don't put up with no cyber bullying. I don't put up with no in-person bullying. Get dropped on your head. You hear me? And so that's what I'm trying to tell you. If Karmelo knew the boy reputation, I understand why he pulled a knife. If he didn't know his reputation, I don't understand pulling no knife. Because I've never seen a black boy afraid of a white boy. Because we cut from a different cloth. Like the white boys are middle class. And they come from a softer lifestyle. Yes, they wrestle alligators and they go hunting, but they come from a softer lifestyle. They dad is a lot of times gentle. Some of them got abusive dads now. Some of them I done met a few white men that say their daddy used to beat the brakes off them. And that could have been the case with this Austin guy. If Austin was doing everything they say he doing, which I believe it, that lets you know he come from a troubled home. And it will make sense that his dad was whooping on his mom and he had to whoop his dad. It will make sense. And so, and somebody say the 5-to-1 issue, I don't know what you're talking about. You saying 5 boys versus 1? Which that wouldn't make sense because Karmelo was invited over to the tent by his friend. So that automatically make 2. And then your friend invited you, so your friend could say, hey man, listen, I told him to come over here, man, calm down, y'all chill out. So if the friend invited Karmelo over there and then didn't speak up for him to his own teammates, that would mean the friend know the boy's reputation and was scared of them boys, or the friend set him up. And so it's an explanation for everything. But then again, if it's 5-to-1, what have to be addressed with Karmelo is what was the mindset. Because I'm going to tell you like this right here. If I'm at the tent and it's 5 boys come up to me and they say, hey, you need to get from up under this tent. And it's 5-on-1, I'm going to say, all right, y'all got it. I'm finna go anyway. I'm finna leave anyway, tough guy. I'm finna leave anyways. So Karmelo must have had a point to prove. And he must have said, not today, and you ain't finna bully me today. Cause we see he ain't had no marks in his face. So if Austin came up there to approach him first, then Austin got the brunt of it. And so the friend must have set him up. And see the friend didn't look out for him. So the friend set him up then. And he'll have to answer to that. He'll have to answer to that. But at the end of the day, I pull a lesson from everything. So as soon as this happened, I talked to my son. And I let him know. Same with the Nolan Wells case. I talked to my son. And we talk through this. And we get to the root of it. And we talk about it. Talk about the different angles. And I tell my son, listen, it's okay to walk away. Don't feel like you less than a man. I walked away from one fight because the fight was about to happen because of a lie. A guy that was messy and was jealous of me told his cousin that I was picking on him because his mom is gay. And so the guy came up to me after school and, what's up, Tony? heard what you been saying about my mama. I ain't even know the boy mama was gay. The boy pushed me in the chest. When he pushed me in the chest, I felt the vertebrae in my neck snap. He pushed me with the strength of the Lord. He pushed me with all of the anger in his life. At that very moment, I knew that he was going to whoop my behind for all of his childhood trauma of his mama being gay. So you know what I did? Man, bunk this, man. Man, I'm finna leave, man. Bunk this, man. I ain't say nothing about your mama. Man, I'm gone, man. And I walked off. He did not chase me. He did not hit me in the back of the head. But the way my chest went in and the way that neck rolled, off the strength of that push, I knew he could whoop my behind. I ain't try to go get no weapon. I ain't try to pull no weapon on him. We was in middle school, I think. Could have been high school, but I think it was middle school. Guess what? He became a Division I running back. He was very strong. He was a year younger than me. He also is the only boy that ever beat me in running. So this boy was athletic. This was also a black boy. He also was raised in an apartment that was about the size of the Sprinter van that I'm sitting in. So I knew the way his pain was set up. I live in a 3-bedroom house. He lived in a little square box apartment in the little, it's not even hood, because it was just 2 apartments that's connected to each other. And there's 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. So it's a little quadplex, and just sit there by itself. They was very old, very ran down, and his mom was gay. I say that boy in a struggle. I don't have enough anger in me. I ain't been through enough to whoop that boy. I'm finna walk away. He later apologized to me as adults. He said, man, I want to apologize to you. I said, yo, man, that was your cousin lied to you. I said, bro, I didn't even know your mom was gay. I still could feel that push to this day. I'm 42 years old. I probably was 13, 14 when he pushed me in that chest. I could feel that push to this day. And I ain't scared of him no more, because now I got guns too. But it's like, I still wouldn't want to square up with him. And so that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. When we go to the point to where we gotta pull a weapon, we scared to death. And I'm gonna tell you who take lives. The people who take lives are scared. The toughest, meanest, strongest people will walk away because they know what they're capable of. When you take a life, that is a sign that you are scary. You scared to death. And that's how you cause death. A lot of people don't understand that about the shooters and killers in Chicago and Memphis and all them different places. They scared. In real life, they scared. If you're not scared, you're going to square up. And you're going to go to blows. When you got to pull a weapon and take somebody's life, it's because you scared. As a person, you're afraid. Because somebody who's not afraid, they'll fight 1-on-5. And they'll get off on the first person, maybe the second, and then they're going to take off running. And that's just the truth of the matter. But if you ain't never been in a fight, you don't know how that works. If you ain't never had a weapon on you and got into a disagreement, you don't know how that works. When I was in the streets, I got a call one time, 2:30 in the morning, from one of my clients, and was like, "Hey, bro, I want a dime bag." So I get out the bed. I walk outside. They say, "Hey, meet us over here by our apartment in the bike." So I walk back there, and it's pitch black dark, and I got my little homegirl with me. We was sitting in the apartment talking, and she was the friend of one of my other homegirls, and she was in town visiting from LA. And I walk out there to sell the little dime bag, and I got my bike pack that got my 380 handgun and a quarter pound of weed in it. And I pull out a little dime, and I go to hand it to the OG, and it's 10 guys. So the guy who called me, he wasn't even out there on thing. And it's 10 guys. And I go to hand it to him. But no, I pull up, and they all 10 sitting there waiting on me. So guess what? Guess what? I think Joya in here, boy. I think Joya in here sniping. Cause I looked at a comment and it was gone. Joya, you in here? I think Joya in here sniping. God bless you, Joya. Keep your head up. I'm gonna be the made Renee moderator too. But Renee be on here a lot too. And cause my people who watch my videos know my mental makeup. And they know that I'm a Christian. I love the Lord. Got the Purpose Pushers community, but I still a go there. I still a go there. I don't put up with no foolishness. I will read you to filth. I don't put up with no foolishness, and I'm trying to grow, and I don't think I ever will get past that. But you're not gonna come on here and talk crazy to me now. So understand that now. I'll chop you down to size quick. Better come in here and sit down and shut up and listen. Don't come in here hopping in my comments thinking you just finna get one off. Cause I have you feeling like jumping off a bridge now. And so I walk up and it's 10 guys. The girl, she my little assistant that night. She from LA. I remember to this day her name was Jade. We ain't had no sex or nothing like that. So don't y'all be thinking about that. And when I walk up, I'm like, what's up, bro? And it's 10 of them and it's pitch black. I reached to her, I say, hey, you hand me that gun. And she reached in the bag and she hand me the gun. And when she hand me the gun, the OG, he probably in his 30s looked like, man, what? You pulling the gun, man? What you pulling the gun for? Man, hey, they say don't pull no gun if you ain't gonna use it. And I looked at him and I said, who said I ain't gonna use it? Oh, now you gonna shoot me? Now you gonna shoot me? Oh, now you gonna shoot me? I say, you the one out here with 10 ends for a dime bag. What you expect? What you think I'm thinking? I say, y'all look like you come to rob me. What it take 10 of y'all to get a dime bag at 2:30 in the morning? Oh no. Man, bump it, man. Man, here go the money, man. Here go the money, man. Give me the weed, man. Man, bought that, man. Hey, man, you need to calm. Man, you crazy, man. You need to chill out, bro. Man, ain't nobody gonna rob you, man. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you, man. I say, well, bro, it don't look like it. I say, if you need to buy a dime bag, that need to be one of y'all. Not 10. It don't take 10 of y'all to buy no dime bag. And so guess what? If you ain't never been in no altercations like that, you don't know when you gonna think to pull a weapon. So if you think to pull a weapon, you already know this boy reputation. You already know who you dealing with. You already know how he built. You already know what they say about him. So that's why you got that thing right there on you ready. And you ready to use it. But this is the thing that we got to get our sons to understand. It's nothing wrong with walking away. We got to get them to understand you don't have nothing to prove. It's nothing wrong with walking away. Save your life. Save his life. Walk away. I'm going to be honest with you. What your son need to do, if he got a knife on him, he need to flash that knife. If he flash that knife, he probably ain't going to have to use it. He need to flash that knife and say, hey, walk up on me. But I'm going to tell you another thing. Some people ready to die. Who knows? He could have flashed the knife. And I'm going to tell you, I'm gonna tell you what's happening is you right about that pride. Some people ready to die. Some people feel like such a failure in their life, and like their life sucks so bad that they commit homicidal suicide. And what I mean by that is some people will pretend they reaching for something in front of the police so that the police have to shoot them. So that way they didn't have to take their own life. It is so many people who have committed suicide by police gunfire. They knew what they was doing. They knew if I go over here to reach like I'm about to grab something, it's gonna make him react. And some people, yeah, that's what it's called, suicide by cop. Some people do that. And I done had somebody yell at me before that I got into it with. I done had somebody yell at me before. Kill me! Just go ahead and kill me! Kill me, dude! Kill me! And I was like, I say that's the devil. That's the devil right there. And I thank God for having a little bit of Holy Spirit in me because I was able to walk away. I was able to walk away. It was a family member. And I was able to walk away. Cause when you first hear that, it's like, all right, I'm about to knock your head off your shoulders. But then you come to your senses if you know the Lord. And you say, let me walk away. Let me walk away. And a lot of people don't understand the male, how men are. I'll never forget when my cousin was giving my grandma issues and my daddy jiked him up by his neck and had him up in the air, up against the wall, and his feet was dangling. And my daddy is a quiet man, so he wasn't even saying nothing. And when he let my cousin down, my cousin's feet hit that ground, and he ran so fast and he dove into the bed and just put his hands in his head, in his arms, and went to crying. It was at my grandma's house. And my daddy was the enforcer. I grew up with an enforcer. Quiet. Former police, former military. And I remember I got smart mouth with my grandma. And I said, they ain't gonna do nothing but talk to me. Talking about my mama and daddy. Soon as my daddy walked in that door, my grandma say, yeah, I got onto your son, but he told me y'all ain't gonna do nothing but talk to him. My daddy whooped my behind right then. Whooped my behind. Said, all right, you took your grace for granted. You thought all I'm gonna do is talk to you. You finna wear this whooping today, boy. Just like that. People don't understand men. People don't understand the male ego, and that little masculinity. And that's how this situation happened. And that's why we gotta talk to these kids, and you gotta talk to the men in your family, especially the hotheads, and you gotta let them know it ain't worth it. And now see, look, if it's true that Austin Metcalf dad whoop on his mama, and Austin had to whoop on his daddy and got arrested, then that means his daddy wasn't even talking to him like that. That means his daddy wasn't talking to him like that. That means his daddy wasn't giving him the game for life. That means he was out here just ripping and running, just doing what he want to do, how he want to do it, when he want to do it. That's what that means. And guess what? It cost him his life. And see, the age of understanding, I believe in the Bible, is like 13. So, yeah, you need to learn how to fight. And so I feel, and the wages of sin is death. So if Austin had an understanding and kept causing terror in people's lives, what he experienced from Karmelo was inevitable. If it wouldn't have been Karmelo, it would have been someone else that would have taken Austin's life because of what they showing of his history, the path that he was on. It's inevitable. It would have eventually happened. It would have just been somebody else. And it's unfortunate that it had to be Karmelo. And this is what I try to tell people all the time. It's some people that you meet that's your date with fate, or that's your date with destiny. It's some people that you meet that if you ain't got the lesson, you're going to have to pay the piper. And the reason why I know is because I'm one of them people. It's people that do wrong by people, but when they meet me, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. You're going to have to pay me. You're going to have to answer to me. Not physically, but that's how I got that free Hellcat that I call an angel cat. 797 horsepower or something like that. Free of charge, $80,000 free of charge, because this dealership had been scamming people and running your credit and opening up a second deal so that they get the credit from the bank. And I caught them. And I told the man, you're going to give me the most expensive car off the lot. And he said, no, I ain't. He was a Hispanic. He said, but look white. He said, no, I ain't gonna be able to do that, sir. I say, sir, listen to me. I say, sir, listen to me. I say, today is your date with destiny. And I say, it's been a many men who have met me and thought that I was bluffing. I said, I don't make threats. I only have promises. So I'm going to give you a choice. You're going to give me what I told you you're going to give me, or I'm going to burn this whole thing down. He looked at me and he started to cry. His eyes watered up. And he said, okay, give me a couple of days. He said, let me talk to him over there. He had his regional superintendent in the room too. It was a 3-hour meeting. I didn't yell. I ain't flipped no table. I didn't curse. I ain't call him out his name. I just sat there like an attorney. And they probably kept scamming. I wouldn't know though, but I made them pay the piper. It's a big dealership. One of the biggest in the country. And what they would do is, I came in with a pre-approval from the bank. That bank is who funded their whole establishment. So all they had to do was get on the computer and type in a code, and it will pull up my deal. And then all I would have to do is just sign a dotted line. Instead, they looked at my credit. They pulled my credit without my permission when they didn't have to do that. They looked at my credit profile, and they could tell that they could run another loan to the bank. So they had approved me for a $48,000 Jeep Wrangler that I was buying for my niece. Instead of doing the deal that I already had approved, they took and applied for a new loan in my name and got a second approval of the same $48,000 Jeep Wrangler. And I didn't know it. I ain't know it till I went back to get the soft top turned to a hard top. And then the hard top to get it switched to another vehicle, because it still was leaking rain. That's when I found out. And I called a bank. And I said, do I have, I say, what loans I got on here? He said, well, you got approval. He said, you got 2 approvals for $48,511. I said, I don't understand what you're saying. He said, you have 2 approvals. I say, so I got a Jeep Wrangler right now, $48,000. You telling me I could go get another one for $48,000? I already have a Maserati, or Escalade, a Sprinter, a Bentley on my credit. You telling me I could go get another $48,000? He said, yes, sir. You have two open approvals of $48,511. I say, how did that happen? He said, well, you applied for one, and then the car dealership applied for one. Boy, I went in there. I was fire hot. I slammed that paper on that table. I ain't slam it, but I say, here, sir. The man just told me you called and y'all opened a second loan in my name after y'all ran my credit, and y'all told me that you just ran the credit to verify my identity, but that was a lie because you opened a second loan. I say, cancel all of it. Here go the paperwork. Cancel the deal. I ain't buying no car from you because you do bad business. And I had them bought the car. They had to cancel the deal. And then when I was telling the story to my barber, my chest went to burning. And I say, I ain't get enough out of that deal. I said, no, enough ain't happened for me. And I went back up there and I told the guy, the head guy, I said, I need to talk to the head guy who run all of this. And he said, he ain't here right now, but we'll set up a meeting. The guy called me and I went up there and we had a 3-hour meeting. And after it, I gave him 2 days. He called me. He said, Mr. Gaskins, I got two options for you. He said, I got this blue Hellcat and I got this green Hellcat. One of them got 8,000 miles on it. One of them got 3,000 miles on it. Which one do you want? I said, I want the blue one with 3,000 miles. He said, okay. He said, you got a Bentley, right? I said, yeah, I got a Bentley. He said, has Bentley got the diamond stitching in it? I said, yeah, it got a diamond stitching. He said, well, when this one come in, I'm going to have the shop put leather in this one and put blue diamond stitching in it for you. How's that? I said, okay. He called me back the next day. He said, well, Mr. Gaston, they told me you're going to have to pay the taxes on the car. And this will be about $13,000. I say, sir, I'm not going to have to pay anything. I say, this was your establishment mistake. You going to foot the whole bill. I said, I don't know how you going to foot it, but you going to foot the whole bill. So you call them back and tell them I ain't paying nothing. He called me back a day later. He said, well, Mr. Gaskins, I got it approved. You don't have to pay the taxes on it. He said, you want us to deliver the car to you when it's done? I said, no, I'm coming up there because I want all your workers to see me leave out of there with that car so that they see this what happened when you do bad business. And I went up there and I had to sign a paper that say I wouldn't say the name of their establishment online and disparage them. That's why I ain't said the name of the dealership. And I had to sign for the car. $77,000 car for free. Because I remained cool, calm, and collected. And I articulated myself. And I stood on business. And I went back for what I felt I was owed. And I could have took them to court and sued them for a whole lot of money, but it would have took a lot of money and a lot of time. And that's what I threatened them with. I say, if I go to court, we gonna subpoena all y'all records. And I say, all the skeletons coming out the closet then. Say, so you been doing bad business, and if you'll do this to me, a millionaire, what you do to that old black lady that come in here and need a car? He said, you think I do this to old black ladies? I said, if you'll do it to a young black man, then you'll do it to an old black lady. Absolutely 1,000%. I say, but guess what? You ain't gonna do it after this, because you finna pay the piper today. Just like that right there. And this is what we got to teach our sons. Emotional intelligence. So yes, I will read you the filth. I will tell you about yourself. Yes, I will take a life. But I'm going to do everything to not have to do that. I'm going to do everything to express myself and to keep everything copacetic. And that's only going to go there if you make it go there. But that's the last option. I'll walk away from you, tough guy. I'll walk away. But if you come over here behind me and put your hand on my shoulder while I'm trying to walk away, nah, I got the John Wick you. Now I got the Denzel Washington you in the movie. And so this is what we got to teach our sons. This is an unfortunate situation because one young man is dead and one young man is going to lose his future, a large part of his future. So we got to be able to extract the lessons and teach our sons how to move so that we don't see this happen in our household right next door. And this the thing. This the thing. And then too, it's like sometimes the parents in these situations, they go to clout chasing and want to be famous and want to be in the news and all of that. And it's like, well, darn. And a lot of people don't understand too. It's like I try to talk to my son and try to keep him, even tempered, and I'm pretty like the only one that could get him out of character. Other people can too, but I try to teach him about that, and because I'm hard on him, and I stay on him, and I stay on him, and I tell him the truth, because I'm like, son, I'm the only one that's gonna tell you the truth. So you get mad with me, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. And anytime he don't listen, he pay a price. And I tell him all the time, I say, son, the Bible say, honor thy mother and father. And every time he don't listen, right after that, he'll go through an injury. He'll get injured, have to sit out games, have to miss stuff, have to this right here. And I said, son, that's all I was trying to tell you. All I was trying to do was prevent that injury. All I was trying to do was prepare you, because I done already been through it. So you're going to learn from the ounce of prevention, or you're going to learn from the pound of cure. But one way or the other, you're going to learn. And so I'm going to tell you like this right here. Everything happened for a reason, even when there is no reason. Everything happened for a reason, even when we don't understand the reason. You got to let life be. You got to let it play out how it's going to play out. You make your decisions. You do what you need to do. And you let the rest play out. So just like I say, my uncle is doing 40 years. And I believe him going to prison saved his life. It saved his life. My former best friend is serving 3 life sentences for murder. I believe that him getting in trouble on that incident, probably if he took that young man's life, he's a black boy. He is allegedly taking the life of a white boy. Shot him. They say he shot him in the arm and it went through and pierced his heart. He doing 3 life sentences. So he'll never get out unless he get an appeal or some sort or something like that happen. So when he went in, I tried to get with him to write a book to preserve the youth, to warn the youth about living that street lifestyle, how it can go. And he got mad with me and he cut me off because he said, my sister later told me that he told her he felt like I was saying he guilty. And I'm just like, you got a lawyer, you got money. If you weren't guilty, you would have got off. Like it would have been easy to prove that you didn't pull the trigger. And the guys you was with, they was all your underlings. They was all younger than you. They all following you. So if you wasn't the one who did it, one of them would have took the charge for you. So I'm just looking at it realistically. That's how I'm thinking at it. I'm like, you're guilty. I know you my homeboy and all that, but you're guilty. So you finna sit down. We in Polk County. My uncle doing 40 years on $20 worth of drug. You know how it go. If you go to court and you go to trial, them people gonna hit you with basketball numbers, not football numbers. You finna get basketball numbers, and you know how it go. So let's turn this into a positive and let's write a book. And if you want to claim that you're innocent, you claim that you're innocent, but let's still teach these youth about not being in the wrong place at the wrong time. About not being, why y'all was even in the boy house. Why y'all even got into an altercation over some weed in the boy house. So he got 3 life sentences because they say he pulled the trigger and took the boy life. The other 4 boys he was with all got 10 years for being accomplices. And me and him used to be like this right here. I got distance from him when he started smoking because I didn't smoke. And I was an athlete, and I thought I was going to be a pro athlete, so I didn't smoke and I didn't drink. So when he started smoking, I got my distance. And to God be the glory, because had I not got distance, I would have stayed in there, and I would have been in that house with him. I would have been in that house with him, and that murder probably would have been my murder. It probably would have been me pulling the trigger. Because there was other times that I was ready to go, and God didn't let it happen. For whatever reason, the people I was with said, no, I changed my mind, I don't want to do it. And I'm right there on go. And so that's why I have opened the Purpose Pushers community, because I look back and I'm like, man, Tony, when you was about to kick that door in, you could have kicked that door in and got shot in your head. Cause it was a lady who won the lottery, and she won $280,000. And I had a homegirl who was a lesbian, and so she moved and act like a guy. And she came to me and she said, "Hey Tony," we was in high school. She said, "Hey Tony, man, the lady won $280,000 on the lottery. You want to rob her?" I was like, "Yeah, let's rob her." She was like, "I know where she live at. She live over there in the trailer. So the trailer, the door weak. All we gotta do is just boom, hit the door, just go in there and get the money, because she got the money out in cash because she don't trust the bank." I said, "Yeah, all right." It was a real heavy set lady. I ain't even never told this story. Real heavy set lady. So we over there. I got a bat. We too young. We ain't got no weapons. I got a bat. So I'm about to break the handle off the door with the bat. And then my homegirl say, No, don't do it. Don't do it. I change my mind. I say, "You sure?" I say, "You scared?" She was like, "No, I changed my mind. I can't do it. Man, I don't want to take that lady money, man, Tony. And then what if she got a gun? Or what if she in there with a man and he got a gun?" I say, "Yeah, you got a point. Because I ain't want to do it now. But I also ain't want to be scared. Because this a girl who brought it to me. So I'm like, how she fit to be more thug than me? You not been a hot thug me now. I know you like women, but you not been a hot thug me now. How you finna bring me to lick and then me bite down?" No. And I felt bad because she had came to the private school for me. And she had to sit out and lose a year of eligibility because she had came to the private school for me. And oh, forgive me real quick. Hey, baby, will you get my charger out my backpack, or get my backpack real quick for me? You got to go right now? Okay, don't worry about it. I got a charger in here. Y'all forgive me. I'm trying to get my wife to get my charger. So guess what? I could have went to prison that day. I could have lost my life that day. It was another time I was in college. And I say, "Man, I'm finna hit me a lick." And because all my homeboys were hitting licks back at home. And they were getting a lot of money. And I'm like, "Man, I'm in college, man. I need some money, man. My mom and dad ain't got no money." So I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Man, I need me some money, man." Oh, you know what? My wife ain't even gonna know where it's at. Y'all forgive me. Give me 1 second. Got to get this charger. Hush, Bella. Go ahead. Babe. Oh, okay. I was like, my wife ain't even gonna know where the bag at, so I was coming in. Thank you. What you going to get, Taylor? Uh-oh, sorry about that. Y'all forgive me. No, Bella. No. Y'all, I'm in my mobile office. I'm in my mobile office. So I'm in college. Had a white girlfriend, and I say, man, I'm finna hit me a lick. And so here she was, she was kind of scared of me. So my wife would never let me do that now, cause my wife ain't scared of me, but she was scared of me. So she like, oh my goodness, no, be safe. Well, it could have been my black girlfriend. Be safe, And I called my homeboy from Florida because I knew they knew about how to hit a lick like this. So I called my homeboy from Florida. They was on the football team. They had just got up there. They were freshmen. And I called one on. He was a biracial guy. And I said, hey, y'all ready, bro? We talked about it now. Y'all ready? He like, TG, man, I'm drunk, man. We so drunk, man. Man, we gonna do it tonight, man. We'll be hey, man, we'll do it next weekend. I'm drunk. So I said, all right, bro, I'm gonna holler at you. So then I get on dressed, got all black on. I get my gloves, I get my mask, and I go, and girl, she like, hold on, be careful, please make it back. And so me, I'm just trying to get my little thug stripes. Soft as cotton candy in the hot sun. Trying to get my little thug stripe. So I get in the car. I ride up there to the spot, to the little Dollar General that I was about to hit the lick on. And it's overnight. So what they used to do back then is they used to tap the glass with that spark plug. The glass will shatter. They'll pull it off because it got a tin on it. And they'll go in there and go to the safe. Break in the safe or where they hold the money at in the store, get the money and just run out and be gone. They did that so many times. My homeboy, and I played football with him growing up. He actually did 15 years. He got 15 years. I went to do the same thing. He ain't got 15 years yet now. And I said, Lord, had I went through with that, I could have been doing 15 years. Like he had to do. They offered him 5. He took it to trial. They gave him 15. He had to do, I think, 12 of them. So you see what I'm saying? It's a lot of times in my life. That's another story I ain't never tell y'all. It's a lot. And I can't tell you every story. That's why the Purpose Pushers community exists. Because I'm not supposed to be on this side of life. I'm not supposed to be in the free world. I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm not supposed to be above the ground. And so that's why I created that. Because if I could find my purpose, if I could live my purpose, and I'm going to tell you, one thing about Karmelo, he have done this, but I believe that brother going to end up being one of the greatest speakers and teachers and leaders in America. Because this is the type of stuff right here that is an unfortunate event that will push you into purpose. Whenever he get out, I believe he gonna be pushed into purpose. And I thank God. And I never forget, I was with my cousin. And my cousin probably, I think 3 years older than me. And I had published my book. And I went to visit him in prison. He was doing 3 years. And he was like, "Cuz, man, I ain't know you write books." He was like, "Man, you know UV Entertainment in St. Pete." And I was like, he was like, "When you go to the club, on the flyer, you always say UV Entertainment." I was like, "Yeah, I know who that is. I always see them on the flyers at the club." And cause I was like, I had Dazzling Dimes, and we used to host the clubs with the Dazzling Dimes, and I had 8 girls that we would be booked to be the VIP. It would be the VIP eye candy, and I was just the owner of the organization. And the club promoter would pay us to come, or they would get on the stage and they would twerk, and everybody would throw money on the stage, and then me and my guys would pick up the money. And so I had a Dazzling Dime. So we used to be in the club scene Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it was me with 8 girls. Sometimes 2 of my homeboys would come with me, and they had on a tank top, black tank top with the gold glitter. They said Dazzling Dimes. And then on their back, they had a number. They had number 1 through 8. And then I had on the Dickies outfit. And on the back, it had the gold glitter that say Dazzling Dimes. And I was in the club scene. So when I talked to my cousin, he said, yeah, UV Entertainment. Like, cuz. He said, cuz, man, we used to make like 40 grand a day in the streets. He say, man, if I knew you write books, cuz, I would have blessed you with some money, man, to help you get it off the ground. I said, cuz, don't worry about it, man. I done got on out there now. And so he had a big old bust lip. Guess he had to get in a fight in there. And I remember when he got out, I went and picked him up. And he went to stay with my grandma. And everybody used to stay with my grandma. And he got him a job down to the factory. I think it was the orange factory where they make orange juice. And they paid him, I think, $240 or $250 a week. And mind you, we grown now. So he probably 26, 27, closer to 30. And he did that for about a month, 2 months maybe. And I remember he called me. He said, cuz, man, I need you to come get me. Take me back to St. Pete. I said, all right, cuz. Why you want to go to St. Pete? He say, and we ride. He say, cuz, man, they only paying me $240. He was like, man, I make that in an hour. He was like, cuz, I got to go back to the streets and spread my wings. I was sad. I was sad to hear that. But I drove him out there to St. Pete. Got off on 4th Avenue or 5th Avenue. One of them pulled up, middle of the road. He say, in a neighborhood somewhere, he say, cuz, you could drop me off right here. I don't know where he was going. 2 weeks later, I got a call. Quan dead. Got shot twice in the back of the head. And what I assume happened is either he had killed somebody and had got away with it, or when he went out there, he kicked the door in on somebody to rob them, and they saw him, and they came back to kill him. But I thought about that. I'm like, that's my cousin. I looked up to him. I could have said, cuz, I want to get out there with you. Cuz, put me on. Like, hey, let's run it up. Like I had did with my other cousin. But for some reason, it wasn't in my spirit. And he got killed. And I remember at his funeral, all these cars on 26s, 28-inch rims, 26-inch rims, 30-inch rims, camouflage paint, chameleon paint, changing colors, Lexus, Chevys. All the dope boys came to his funeral. I'm like, man, cuz really was out here. Like, cuz really was tied in. And I ain't know, I assumed the killer was at the funeral. Because for some of y'all that don't come from that or never been around that, the killer come to the funeral so that the family don't suspect him or her. And so I'm looking around and I'm just trying to read energy. I'm trying to see like which one killed him. And I couldn't tell. And it was sad. And while I'm there, his mama there, drunk, cussing, talking bad about him. And that reminded me that's why he was out there. Because he really didn't have no mama. He really didn't have no guy. He didn't have his dad, didn't have his mom. The streets raised him. And the streets killed him. So this is why we got to teach our son these lessons and That's also why I started the Purpose Pushers community, and that's why I have the Tony Jackson Family Foundation working with young men, because if we could find our purpose earlier, if we could find our strength earlier, because God spared me. I could never tell every story. Just because some stuff, even when I tell my son everything. He don't believe half of it. Sometimes I be telling him a story, he be like, here go this guy lying. And I say, you know what, Lord? I thank you that he don't believe me. But it also hits me, and I say, well, Lord, the fact that my son don't believe the story that I'm telling him reminds me of your grace. Because if he don't believe what I'm telling him, that means I ain't supposed to be here today. That means I wasn't supposed to make it through those dumb decisions. If my son, who listened to the rap music, who growing up in this world, don't believe what I'm telling him, I ain't supposed to be here. And he also don't understand the hard wiring that you go through when you flip that switch and you go to the streets, and how it change you and what it do to you. A lot of people don't think about that, because you living every day on edge, because you don't know what day you're gonna get arrested and go to prison, or what day you're gonna get robbed, or what day you're gonna get killed, or what day you're gonna have to kill somebody. So the cortisol, if y'all notice how Gucci Mane used to look, and I just did a podcast with a guy named Big Bank, and he used to be big. A lot of times you have this hard pot belly, or this hard stomach, or just a real stress look, because of that cortisol release all day, because of the stress you putting on yourself, because of the environment that you in. And I don't oftentimes tell these stories because people don't believe it, but the good thing about it is I don't look like what I've been through. That's the good thing about it. I got no scars in my face. I ain't got no bullet wounds in my body. And a lot of times when I tell the story, people don't believe it. And I say, you know what? That's even more proof of God's grace and God's redemption. That when you have been changed, people won't even be able to believe the stuff you done did. And some of the stuff is so embarrassing and so shameful and just so despicable. Oh wow. My wife bracelet, necklace, she probably don't even know it's in here. Y'all forgive me. My wife was sitting in here. I'm sitting in here and look at him. My wife, diamond pear necklace in here in the crevice of the seat. She probably don't even know it's in here. On my long ride up to take my son to school. Take that in to her tonight, because she probably looking for it and probably scared to tell me she lost it. And it's sitting right in here. So listen. Praying for the young man, what he going through. Praying that if it was other details that made him react the way he did and do what he did, that it come out and all of that. Why do you think Trayvon Martin didn't attack George Zimmerman? Because George Zimmerman said Trayvon was walking through the neighborhood and that he followed him because he wanted to be a police. Basically, he wanted to be neighborhood watch. So he followed Trayvon. So he initiated. So even if Trayvon turned around and attacked George Zimmerman, that's protection, because you following me. Why are you following me and I'm walking home? Like, why you chasing me? And then guess what? Just like I told y'all, George Zimmerman was a little had a little meat on his bones, and he said Trayvon was whooping his behind. Trayvon didn't look that big. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all about black guys. We naturally athletic. We naturally are warriors. We naturally are defenders. We know how to fight without being taught how to fight. And that's what you have to realize. And so, and to be honest with you, I don't think Karmelo needed no I don't think Karmelo needed no knife. He probably just don't know his own strength. He probably just don't know how he built and what he could have did. And yet he wanted to stand on business instead of walking away. Instead of saying, hey, all right, tough guy, you can have it. Go ahead. Or he probably felt like if I back down from this, they're gonna be punking me at every track meet. And so he stood his ground. But guess what? When you make a decision, that's what they had me talk to the top 100 high school basketball players for 6 years in a row. Choices, decisions, consequences. And there was a lady that used to talk to them about sexual education. Her name Miss Mack, and she the one who got me in to be a speaker. She said to me one time, she said, Tony, you have freedom of choice, but you don't have freedom of consequence. You could choose to walk away, or you could choose to stand and fight with that knife. That's your choice, but you don't have freedom of consequence. And that's what we have to teach our sons, so that we don't have to be online going back and forth and claiming racism and claiming all of this. We got to teach them to walk away. We got to teach them when to defend themselves. And we got to teach them when you defend yourself, if it's not clearly defensible that you were defending yourself, you're going to go to prison. They got to know what the consequences are so that they can make a educated decision. And at some point, sometimes you may have to stand on business and defend yourself and say, I'll take the time, because I'd rather sit down in prison and be alive than to be dead, because I get out one day. That might have to be the choice if you can't prove that you were defending yourself. And so, and I was booked to speak at a Trayvon Martin event, and the family or whoever was doing the booking found me online, and I was one of the top African American male voices at the time. So they booked me for the men to talk to the fathers who had lost a son to violence, and they booked Lisa Nichols to talk to the moms who had lost a son to violence. And so the money that they raised, that's a part of how they utilize it. They provided programming to help other people, help other families. And just hearing the story, I already knew Trayvon was innocent and that George Zimmerman should have went to prison for following him and bothering him. Because it's like, if you bother me in the middle of the night, I got a right to defend myself. And then how you gonna kill me when I'm defending myself and you came to bother me? The difference, he was breaking into a house and he grabbed him out on the bike, and because he was climbing into somebody's window. That's different. And so we see this right here, and what they got going on. Look at that. I just witnessed two white guys nearly run over a black girl that turned the light today. They didn't even apologize, but they wanted to get her in trouble for the scratch on the car from the bike. Eventually, we're going to find out what happened to Noah Wells. We're going to find out. It's going to come out. Because a lot of times, God get, George Zimmerman homeless and down on his luck. So, Lord, yeah, that's what happened. A lot of times, God has universal laws that you reap what you sow. It's universal laws. And that's why I try to tell people, the only way you can maybe escape What's coming to you is to tap into your purpose and to live your purpose. Look how Apostle Paul died. Google, how did Apostle Paul die? Look how Apostle Paul died after writing 13 or 14 books in the Bible. It still was a price to pay. He was a persecutor of Christians before he changed his life. It still was a price to pay. He didn't die of old age. He didn't die in his sleep. You reap what you sow. And the only person that can change that is God. And so now when you work for the Lord, you got to be willing to die. You got to be willing, because the devil don't want you bumping your gums. The devil finna get mad with me, because I'm finna build a purpose pushers community, and I'm finna give away my blueprint where every single person that get in there and stay in there gonna have a purpose blueprint and gonna start walking in their purpose. And when they start walking in the purpose, they can lead the community. They might lead the community. But we're gonna have so many people in their purpose, so many people healing their city. Somebody might get mad with me. The devil gonna be mad with me. And you know what he gonna do? He gonna try to get me to ruin myself. But see, like the Bible say, wherever there is temptation, there's a way of escape. So when it's temptation to kill, there's a way of escape. When it's temptation to fornicate, there's a way of escape. When it's temptation to adulterate, there's a way of escape. Wherever there is temptation, there is a way of escape. That's what the Bible say, and the Bible don't lie. You can escape if you need to escape. And so that's what so I'm gonna tell you, because the Lord showed it to me. He gonna try to get me to get caught up. Gonna send a woman to try to get me to get caught up. If I pass that test, he gonna send somebody to try me, to make me have to stand on what I done said. And he gonna try to get me and my wife to get a divorce. He's gonna try to get me and my son to fall out. And so what I pray every day is, Lord, give me wisdom. Lord, give me peace. Lord, give me patience. Lord, give me strength. Lord, give me faith. Lord, show me. So what the Lord said to me the other day, he said, Tony, you've been there for your son. He's older, he's grown, he's 19. He said he's not going to listen to everything you say. He said, tell him, but don't try to force him. Don't try to make him. Don't try to bully him. Don't try to punk him. Let him make his decision. And if he don't listen to you, he's going to learn the hard way. And eventually, if he haven't listened, he will be brought to his knees, and he will know that everything you told him was right. And I went through that as a man. I stopped listening to my dad. I wanted to know it all. And guess what? Got kicked out of college. My dad used to call me and he used to tell me, son, if you sacrifice 4 years of your life will never be the same. I ain't know whether he was talking about get a college degree or go to the NFL. But I didn't listen. I was sleeping around with all the women. I was selling weed. I was skipping class. I was sleeping through some practices. I was hitting licks, going to the store. It was another kind of lick that we used to do back in the day, where you walk in the store and you get all the clothes that you want and you put them on your shoulder. And you walk to the register like you finna check out. And then you dart past the register, dart out the door, and the getaway car sitting outside. So I did that when I was in college in West Virginia. Went out there to Clarksburg. They might come down here and go to Florida again. Oh, that was you? Yeah, you coming to arrest you. I might get extradited, y'all, back to West Virginia to do some time. But I did that. Went in there. Went in Marshalls. Got me about $500 worth of clothes. Clean, boy. I was clean. Had them clothes on my shoulder. Walked toward the register. I ran a 4.3. That's 4.3 seconds to get 40 yards. So that's 10 yards in 1 second. So I ran a 4.3. So when I took off, they didn't even see me. They didn't even know I was gone. And I had a black boy from New York, who daddy was a doctor, as the getaway driver, and a Hispanic or biracial boy from Florida. The black boy just was there going to school. He just going to school. He was a model, like 6 foot some, real dark chocolate skin, built like a Greek sculpture, abs, and he's the model. Do like the little half naked magazines for the women. He was my roommate. And then the Hispanic boy, he was on the football team with me. Those were my getaway drivers. Jumped in, put off. Man, I'm at school fresh to death, clean on them. Hadn't hit my leg. But I assume they probably looked back at the camera, saw my face, so I never went back to that store. But guess what? That would have been considered grand theft, because it was over $300. $300 or less is petty theft. That's what I went to jail for in the 9th grade. And I didn't steal again till the 12th grade. The next time when I stole in the 12th grade was at the Lenox Mall. So I was a thief in Florida, a thief in Georgia, and a thief in West Virginia. And it wasn't no malicious type stuff. I stole a little bit of bracelet. Remember they used to have the bead bracelets with the little rhinestones in the little bead, like the little bead type bracelet. That's what I stole out the Lenox Mall. $20. When I went to jail in 9th grade, I stole a Tommy Hilfiger shirt, $44. And then in college, when I got away with that right there, that probably was 500 plus. But and it was just, you know, clothes like Jabot, Adidas, Ralph Lauren, whatever the brands was. And boy, I was clean, boy. But guess what? My homeboys, the one who got 15 years, he was doing it back at home. And he dated my sister. So I used to get to play on how to hit the lick from my sister. She used to tell me how they did it. So my sister was an accomplice in a lot of my trouble. When I got back in the streets, ironically, it was my sister who gave me the mid-grade weed with the scale, with the scissors, and the Ziploc bags from her boyfriend, who is also one of her baby daddies, who had put hands on her, and they broke up, and he had left that weed in the trunk of the car. She gave it to me. And that's what got me back into the streets in Tampa. That was like my that fronted me, and that got me back on. And then from flipping that, and I was able to get more and get more and get more. And guess what? I could be doing time. That's why the Purpose Pushers community, the link is in the description. That's why it exists. Because the Lord spared me. And I'll never forget. I'm riding. I got the Impala. I'm listening to Jeezy or Plies, because those was the blueprints. They put the blueprint in they thing. They put the blueprint in they music, because they was, Plies called himself goon affiliated. Jeezy called himself the snowman. So they come from out the streets and around the streets, and maybe got their hands dirty a little bit, or maybe they stay clean because the OG told them, man, you got a career, you got an opportunity, stay clean. So Plies, I kind of seen him like me, because he was a football player, a college football player just like me. And then he was goon affiliated. And so if you go to my Instagram, you look at my picture, his poster that's behind me and my wife when we was in the club, because Plies was big back then. He had a mixtape with 10 tracks on it called The Testament, The Real Testament, or something like that. And I had the burnt CD of it. So I'm riding around dirty. I got a quarter pound, and I got an unmarked gun. At that time in Florida, we had big billboards. Some of y'all probably seen the billboards. We had big billboards. It said, if you got an unregistered gun, you getting 10 years. And then you get another year for every bullet. That gun I had, I think I had 11 bullets. and it was an unregistered gun. Had I got caught, that's 21 years. You know I would have got the whole 21 years because my uncle doing 40 years for $20 worth of drugs. My homeboy did 15 years for stealing from Nextel stores and from the Sports Authority stores. They used to walk in, get all the jerseys they want, put it on their shoulder, and then dart out the door. So now when you go to the Dick's Sporting Goods and you go to any sporting goods store and they have that chain, that wire through the jerseys, go up there tomorrow, or when you go up there for your son or daughter, that wire that's through the jerseys or the shirts, and they got a lock on it, and they got to come unlock it. That, well, because of my homeboys, because they never had that. They didn't have that policy, so they just go get all the jerseys, put it on their shoulder, and dart out the door, jump in the car, getaway car gone. So you gone with thousands of dollars of jerseys before they catch you. They can catch no black boy that run a 4.3, 4.4. And then for them, it's like, man, I'm not finna try to chase this man out the door. So they started putting them chains on the clothes. Yep, the little spiral thing. And because of the theft. And so that's what we were doing. But I remember, I'm at the light turned yellow. The turn signal. The light turned yellow. I go and hit the gas. I go through it. I go through it. I'm in an Impala on 22s probably. TV in there. Police come behind me. I pull over. I say, oh Lord. I got my weed and my gun right behind me on the floor in my backpack. The legal amount to have, I think, was 20 grams. An ounce is 28 grams. I think I had 4 ounces. So I'd have had to go to prison in Florida. In somewhere else, I probably would have got off. I'd have had to go to prison. And for that gun that I had, that's 21 years. Now they would have gave me a plea. I would have had to do at least probably 5 years. But that police got out of his car. He walked up. He didn't walk up with a dog. So he ain't had no dog. I don't smoke weed, so it was no smell coming out the car. And he said, hey, you know you kind of ran that red light, didn't you? I said, I'm sorry, officer, I didn't really pay attention. I didn't really see it. He said, all right, man. Hey, it was a white guy. He said, all right, man, you better be careful now. I know you're out here riding, listen to your music. You know, you better be careful because, hey, if I see that again, I'm going to have to give you a ticket next time. All right? I say, yes, sir. All right, thank you. Hey, I appreciate you. All right, my brother. Yes, sir. All right now, yeah. All right, I'm doing all the white man salutes. And he gone by his business. Out of that one stop would have got me 20 years. Because if you got it on you, they know you up to no good. They know you up to no good. I ain't have no lawyer money. I ain't like YSL with the lawyer money now, where you could go and fight your case. I would have been blammed, body slam, football numbers. And that's what I try to tell you. So that's why you're going to hear me talking so much about purpose and getting into your purpose. Because the stuff I lived through, the dumb decisions I made, the stuff that God graced me through, to not have an adult record, to have never had to do time, I know that's God's grace. So when y'all see me show up every day, that's why. That's why. Because I owe God. I can't just live life normal and act like I wasn't spared time and time again. When I'm looking at my former best friend doing 3 life sentences. I'm looking at my uncle doing 40 years. I'm looking at both of my cousins had to do 3 to 7 years. My other homeboy did 15 years. Guys that I'm walking with, hanging with, in the streets with. And they had to do time. And God spared me. So that's why I tell you, like, that's why I don't play by when I call somebody out because they in my lane playing, that's why. Because I come from a whole nother lifestyle. To where if in that lifestyle you come in the lane playing, it go a different way. So even in this right here, I don't play by it. People like, oh, Tony jealous because he calling out such and such. Tony jealous. He man, I ain't jealous of nobody. I got everything I can want and need. I just don't play. I just don't play. I take it serious. I don't play with God. If you come in here and we being entrusted with people's hearts, we being entrusted with people, and people is trusting us. Y'all gotta forgive me, I'm rubbing stuff out my face. And people is trusting us. And we could say something and somebody could make a change in their life. People is walking away from relationships because of what they learning. Them turning their back to walk away could get them killed. They taking a chance because of something that we said online. Because we said this is abuse and you deserve better. And I remember my cousin, because he was really big in the streets. And when I went on the game, I went on Marrying the Game. You know, the rapper The Game. I don't know if he's a gang member or not, but I don't know. But I went on his show to coach the children of his mother, Tiffany Cambridge. And on that show, I told her The Game is a grown boy. And something to that effect. After I got off that show, my cousin called me. They're my OG in the streets. Me and him talked about a couple hours the other day because I'm gonna help him in some stuff. He already wrote a book, and he's a general contractor now, build houses, and he left the streets alone. Hands been clean, like for a decade. Hands been clean. Started a trucking company, owned a trucking company, owned an operator, and had other trucks that had drivers. And now he build houses, flip houses, remodel houses. He left the streets. He saw me leave the streets. I was nowhere near the level he was. And then that inspired him. After he saw me write a book and become a speaker, he wrote a book and became a speaker. Like, I showed him the blueprint. And even today, I'm having to show him the blueprint. I'm going to need a little help. I'm going to have to get one of y'all to help him out because I ain't going to have much time. But he want to do a YouTube podcast. He want to change his life all the way. Like, he out the street, but he also want to tell his story now. And I was talking to him, he was like, "Cuz, man, to me the story is boring." He was like, "I don't like talking about it. I don't like talking about the past," but he said, "I realize other people be wanting to hear about the stuff." I said, "Cuz, they gonna love your story, boy. They gonna love your story, and they gonna respect it like none other." And so he called me, he said, "Cuz, you scared?" I said, "For what, cuz? Scared about what?" He said, "Cuz, you messing up people relationship." He said, "You went on TV and you told that lady she need to leave the game." He said, "Cuz, you get killed for that." I said, "Cuz, I ain't worried about that. I ain't scared of that." I said, "I got a job to do. I already supposed to get killed. I already about got killed. I already about had to kill. I already about had to do life. Like, cuz, I ain't worried about that. I told the Lord, if you let me make it out, Lord, tell me where to go. Tell me what to say. Tell me what to do. When you done already look death in the eye, you ain't scared of nothing on this side." So that's why when I told that boy on the podcast, take that bass out your voice, it's because I don't have no fear in my heart. So if you sitting there, you yelling at me as a grown man, I'm going to check you about that. Because I'm not your child. And that's why I don't play no game. And it ain't about being tough. It ain't about being no tough guy. It's just about standing on what you stand on. The root word of standards is stand. You can't have standards if you unwilling to take a stand. You got to know what you stand on. That's your standards. And I'm gonna tell you, I ain't perfect. I went on the interview the other day and I said, man, sometimes I have to have me a little bit of whiskey. I have to have me a little bit of whiskey. Listen, it's what a lot of people don't understand. Like when you done seen some things and you done gone through some things, it comes some time to where you be like, man, I got to blow some steam off. I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want to cheat on my wife. Lord, let me have a little old fashioned. Man, I'm a little old fashioned. And let's judge me. You can judge me. They go, oh, Tony, come online and say he's a drunkard. Tony is a drunkard. That's why he be so animated in his videos. He's a drunkard. Hey, say what you want to say. I know I ain't no drunk. I don't get drunk now. I don't get drunk. And I'm going to tell you, when I have me a little old fashioned, because the Bible said don't be no wine bibbler. Don't be no drunkard. When I see my aunties, I grew up around my auntie, my mama's sisters, they was drunks. One time my auntie came home and she said the doctor told me I got more alcohol in my body than water. And we 70% water. I said, did the doctor, I'm thinking in my head, did the doctor really tell her that? And is that possible? I think she just died not long ago, a couple months ago. And if I'm not mistaken, it was her and my other auntie. They stayed drunk. The auntie whose son got shot in the back of the head twice, she was drunk. She went to rehab. She's sober now. And my other auntie, who was a drunk, her son went to prison, in and out of prison. I grew up with him. He 3 years older than me. He was like my brother. He used to always fight, was never scared to fight. He was light skinned with green eyes, but he had real big teeth. If he had straight teeth with some veneers, he would have been a problem. But because he had them big old teeth, he had big old teeth, boy. I said, boy, the Lord gave you them teeth for a reason, boy, because you right here light skinned with green eyes, boy. You'd have some issues out here if you ain't had them teeth in your mouth, cuz. And he's still out here. He hit me up every now and then, but I can't talk to my family. I can't talk to my family because it's always, cuz I need $20. Cuz I need $20. I'm like, man, listen, if I give you $20 this week, I got to give you $20 next week. Then I'll be giving you $20 for the rest of your life. And I can't do that. You older than me, man. And I love my cousins. I would not, I don't think I will, kill or die for them, but I get on the stand for them and try to help them out and try to, speak up for them. And I love them. And if they really, really down bad, I help them. But just when you ask me for $20, that made me think you finna go get something to smoke. Cause $20 ain't gonna pay no bill. $20 ain't gonna pay now bill. And so I just ignore it, or I just tell them like, cuz I ain't got it. Cuz I ain't got it. But I come from a lot of dysfunction. And my mama and daddy were the baby of 12. And they held it together and they did the absolute best they can. I never seen them drunk, never seen them high. None of that. They got saved when I was 6 years old. But because of what I was around, I'm sitting at my grandma's house, and the big dope boy in the neighborhood, he come and he bam on the door. They jump up and open the door. He busts in the door. He got handcuffs on. He handcuffed, and he got the little zip bag of cocaine, and he's shaking it. He's shaking. He run through the house shaking the cocaine out the bag. He run all the way through the house. He run all the way to the back of the house and try to hide. The police come in right behind him, kick the door. Boom! They bust in there, got their guns. They run in there. They come in there and they get him. He had to go to prison. I watched that with my eyes. SWAT team used to pull up right next to my grandma's house in the black van. Door fly open. Boom! Door fly open. The whole SWAT team jump out and they just disperse up down the street, go kicking in the doors, busting in the houses, robbing, getting all the dope boys. They used to send the undercover right there in front of us. That's how my uncle doing 40 years. He sold to an undercover agent. The car come through as undercover. He sold $10 of cocaine, $10 of marijuana. The next car come through was the police in the unmarked car and say, "Sir, get down. We got you." Took him in. They was in there getting us off the streets for dime bags and handing out a year and a day. A year and a day is prison. 365 days is jail. When you get 366 days, you go to prison, not jail. Jail is where you in when you waiting on your trial, you waiting on all that. When you get sentenced, if it's a year and a day or more, you go up the road to the prison. And I don't know what kind of incentive they get for sending us to prison. I don't know, because the drug you're selling ain't hurting them. Why y'all worried about it? You don't care about you to get no money. They ain't want you to get no money and not have to work and be able to make tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, and not have to work and not have to pay taxes. So they crack down on it. And so I'm watching this stuff with my own eyes. And then that made me, at 18 years old, when I got from up under my daddy, because he was right there on me, I'm like, man, I want to see what this buy. Need to touch me some of this money. My cousin got the Regal with the chameleon paint, with the velvet, with the crushed velvet, gold on the inside. My cousin, who I'm telling about, the OG who I'm helping, with his book and his podcast, he had a green type of candy paint Regal with gold velvet with a bar. Had like little mirrors on the passenger side and a little liquor dispenser. Had a bar in the car and had 12 12s in the trunk, just beating down the block. Then he had the Avalanche on 26s. He had the Charger, the orange Charger on 26s with the floaters, the floating wheels. So when you coming up and you see all that, all the dope boy big chains, the watches, had all the girls, they're like, man, I got to get out here in these streets, get some money, man. I'm not finna be around here broke. That's what led me to the streets. And the thing about it is, and this is what I try to tell y'all, the difference is, that's the difference between what I'm telling y'all. That's the difference between me and my brother R.C. Blakes. You never heard these stories from him. That's the difference between me and Derek Jackson. That's the difference between me and Eric Thomas, me and Ace Metaphor, me and this. And Ace Metaphor is a nurse. You know how smart you got to be a nurse? It's the difference. I don't have a college degree. You got to have a college degree to be a nurse. You see what I'm saying? So that's why my message, a lot of times people come over here and they get mad with me because they like, man, Tony too harsh, man. Tony too real. Tony too this. You got to realize I transitioned into this out the streets where you could lose your life. So it's like this right here. This an easy message. This an easy message. This right here is like, I'm teaching on life. And I don't have to worry about going to prison. I don't have to worry about losing my life. I found my purpose. And so when I sat down to write the purpose art, the Lord birthed that book through me in 2 days. 100 pages in 2 days. No second draft. When you read the purpose art, you reading a divine channel. You reading a flow. I have not read the book back. I did not do a second draft. You reading something that was imparted and bestowed upon me on the topic of purpose. That's what you read. So, hey, I'm gonna get on off of here. Hope my wife get back. She went to pick up Tayden. Came out here to my mobile office just cause lighting a little better and just separated, from the dog and talking loud. Well, I probably could wait till she get back. Actually, she was looking for something. She's stressed. I think she lost her Costco card, so I asked her to go get my backpack for me. She gave me a little attitude, so that's why I went on in there, cause she was about to go. But then when I told her it's all right, she still went on ahead. So y'all, and you know why? Cause I'm doing good. My wife got a little attitude with me today when I asked her could she get my backpack, cause I'm doing good. So because I'm in a good headspace and the devil ain't whooping up on me, now he try to get her a little attitude. So when she come back, got a hug on her, kiss on her. That's how the devil work though. He try to he jump on my bike, he get on my bike, he jump on her bike. Then get on her bike. And see the thing about it is she know, see my wife know. She like me to be the one causing the problems. She like me to be the one starting the disagreements. So when I'm being perfect, she get a little attitude because she know that gonna trigger me. Then I get to go back to being a bad guy. Nope. Nope. I'm in peace. I'm in purpose. I'm not finna be. I ain't bringing up no questions about money, about the kids, about the past, about nothing. I'm bringing up no questions. See, when you're an overthinker and you out here and you be working, you in constant spiritual warfare. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. With the Purpose Pusher community, to keep me on the straight and narrow, to keep me locked in, to keep me focused, I might go live on there every day. I might go live on there every day, so I can stay locked in. Y'all gonna get tired of me, Tony, man. You feeding us too much, man. You feeding us too much. You feeding us too much. Yeah, no, my wife don't have no real attitude. And anytime it's a problem, it's me. Anytime it's a problem, it's me. But when I go to doing too good, though, then the devil will try to get her off her rocker. Try to have her get a little attitude. Nope, I ain't falling for it. So we about to have us an in-home date tonight. My wife, she drive so much with soccer and school. She really don't like always going out the house for no date. And I'm gonna tell you, I can't call my mother-in-law over here, because if I call my mother-in-law over here, she'll be over here a week. And when she over here, I can't walk around with my shirt off and all of that. So I have to call her to babysit for a date. She will be here a week. She do not come and leave when we get back from the date. She is going to stay the night. And she gonna stay another night and another night and another night. And I love my mother-in-law now. We'll kill for her, die for her. But you know, you just be need your own space. Sometimes you want to sing at the top of your lungs. Sometimes you might want to walk through the house, and when your wife and son ain't out there, you might want to let your little bit of gas out. Get your little trumpeting. But you can't do that. But your mother-in-law in the house, you got to walk around there trying to squeeze that gas in, trying to hold that gas in. And my wife don't like me using the room bathroom, so she sent me to my office bathroom in the house, because I got a home office and they got a bathroom attached to it. But it's like, if I'm in there blowing the trumpet, on there sitting on that toilet stool, and my mother-in-law in the kitchen, she could hit me. So I'm like, eee. But hey, the Purpose Pushers community open. It's in the and y'all forgive me, but that let y'all know I don't be trying to be on here look cute for women and trying to be a triter. We have real conversation. So anybody who be peeping in over here, every woman over here is my sister. And I will do something dirty to your bottom. Every woman who subscribed to me is my sister. And I will put you in that dirt bottom. And so for those y'all who be coming over here peeking, trying to see, oh, is this real? Is he a scammer? Is he sleeping with these women? If you find one I'm sleeping with, I'll give you $10 million. You find one I'm sleeping with. And see, when people say that, they be like, well, what if it's a man? If you find a man, if you find a dog, if you find a robot, I'll give you $10 million. Then people be like, Tony, don't say that. That's arrogant. Don't get too pride like I don't have control over my penis. I have control over what I do with my body. And my body not just finna just dive on somebody. I have to think about that. I got to choose the location, the woman, the prophylactic, and then got to take off my pants, take off my underwear, then Go all the way in. And then when you go all the way in, now you got to go one time, two times, three times. Every single time you making a decision. So when I say I'm 100% faithful to my wife, I could say that with confidence because I have to make the decision. And if I decide to cheat, and I pray to God I never decide to cheat. If I decide to cheat, I'm moving to Bali or Thailand, and y'all ain't gonna hear from me no more. Cause see me, I can't be a hypocrite. I sit down. If I fall into weakness, you know how they say sometimes a dog go by itself to die, and then other people say that's not true. And say they just seem like they're going by themselves because they get senile and blind. If I choose to take a stupid pill, I sit down. Like if I did what Buddy did, Swole Buddy, you'd never hear from me again online. Not after I done climbed and built. My past is my past. Before I was given my purpose, before I was given a platform, the stuff I did back then, that's my past. So if that stuff, if a young lady come out and said, oh, Tony did this with me at this point in time, I'd be like, that's before I had my purpose. That's before I knew who I was. That's before I was a man. But being where I'm at now, if I go and do what Derek Jackson did, you will never hear from me again online. I will go take a tech class and learn how to be a software. I go into IT. I go get an IT job. You will hear from me again. I'm telling you that. That's the truth. And I'm going to tell you, that's why the devil tried me the way he tried me. The women who follow me on Instagram, a lot of them look like stuff I've never seen before. I've never seen a woman in person that looked like how them women look. Other than my wife. Other than that, but it's different variations. And people think that when you get married, only your wife could be beautiful. No, beauty is beauty. There's beautiful women out there. Somebody tell you that they wife is the only woman they see, and she the only one that's beautiful. And every other woman ugly. Run. He lying. He lying. You could see beauty and choose to ignore beauty. You could see beauty and choose not to do nothing with beauty. Some of my clients, all of my clients who hire me are beautiful. The devil put right in front of me women every day, and I have to make a choice. Tony, watch your mouth, watch your eyes, watch how you talk, watch what you do, watch what you say. Be careful, cause boy, you get too far in, you'll be like some of these other men out here. And so I'm telling you, like, if I did that, you ain't got to hear from me no more, cause I can't live no double life. I just can't do it. My behind the scenes match my public profile. I can't live a double life, because at the end of the day, you got to be solid for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you see yourself, you live with yourself. That's what it's about. It ain't about who watching. And I'm gonna tell you something. In the industry, I'm kind of blacklisted. That's why I have to build my own community. I'm kind of blacklisted because men are intimidated by a man who lives at a higher level than them. They don't want. It's guys who follow me who look at every one of my posts and they never hit the like button. They never hit the like button because they don't want other men to see that they are liking the post of a man who is a real man and who gives away the game. And they also don't want the women that they sleep with or are cheating with to see that they support me. So they don't like my posts, and they think I don't know what's going on, but I know what's going on because the algorithm shows me the posts of the people who've been on my page, because I follow thousands of people. So if I see you on my timeline, that let me know you've been on my page and you not hitting the like button. I know what the guys be doing. And the thing is they get mad with me because their woman that they're sleeping with follows me, and she will come to me and say, Tony, I'm sleeping with this celebrity and I have his baby that nobody knows about. And then when it comes out that she has his baby, the guys get mad with me because they're like, you should have told me that you knew But I'm like, I can't tell you that I know because I don't know you in that way. And if you will go choke her, go beat her, go kill her. So I have to have client confidentiality for every person. So if you came to me as a man and told me you had a secret baby on your wife, who is also my client, I can't go tell your business to her because I have to have client confidentiality. And then what happens is, this is why I'm blacklisted. What happens is, if a woman sees that a man follows me and she has a secret with him, she comes to me. And she put me in the awkward position, and she will say to me, will you reach out to him and talk to him? And I'm like, I can't reach out to a man and talk to him unsolicited. And that could get you hurt because now he know I know where the bodies is buried. You also could get me hurt, child. Don't come put me in your mess. You talk to him. Tell his mama to talk to him. Tell his brother to talk to him. Tell his friend to talk to him. Don't come telling me. I don't want to know. And they've been doing that to me since 2010. And sometimes I'll try to reach out to him and I'll try to tell the guy, like, hey, man, it's something that's probably about to come out. If you do this again or you keep doing it, it's probably about to come out. And sometimes I'll reach out to their friend or something like that because I can't reach them. Or I want to go to somebody that they trust, somebody that I know, and the guys will laugh me off. They'll laugh me off and they'll be like, yeah, right, whatever. And then it comes out. And I'm like, I tried to tell you. So from that, it's like, Tony is the plague. Got to stay away from Tony. We doing dirt. All these women follow him. We can't let her know that we support him. Because then she going to be looking at us like, well, how you support Tony Gaskins and you want me to be in fornication with you? How you support Tony Gaskins and you want me to be your side chick? How you support Tony Gaskins and you want me to be a secret? And it's men who have got whole girlfriends off of my name. And I have talked to women who come to me and say, such and such said he know you. And y'all are friends. And that's why I started dating him. Because I'm like, man, if those your friends, you're a good guy. And I'm like, I don't know that man from a can of paint. I know him like I know the man on the moon. So I'm tell y'all ladies that if a man ever come to you and say he follow me, he support me, he know me, he on what I'm on, he think like I think, he talking how I'm talking, you need to come ask me first. I don't know why women take a man word when he say he knows a certain man, and I don't know why that matters to women. Every man is his own man. He could have grew up with me. It could be my brother and he a dog. Yeah, I ain't got no brother. It could be my cousin. A lady wrote me and she was like, yeah, I used to date your cousin and he did this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay, what do that have to do with me? Like, you acting like because he my cousin, he lived his own life. That's his life. We not the same. And I'm gonna tell you like this right here. What my cousin did to you, I used to do worse than that. So you got all easy, child. You better be glad you meet me when I was out there. I was worse than that. He's a better man than me. So I'm trying to tell you, like, don't come to me crying and complaining. Like, that was dumb to be with a man because he said he my cousin. It's a man who got on the destinyapp.com and put up a picture that he was in a picture with me, and then he on there bothering people. The young lady let us know about him. I went and got some intel on him from the other guys that was in the picture, and they say, yeah, he crazy. That's when I came on here and did that video and told y'all, like, hey, just because this is my app don't mean that everybody get on there gonna be on the up and up now. You still could have Jeffrey Dahmer on there. You still got to move militant. You still got to move safe. Don't just. And that's the mistake that women make. You can't say, oh, because Tony created it and this how he lived, every man that get on there is gonna be perfect and amazing. No, don't go into Delulu land, because you will get on there and meet Jeffrey Dahmer. You still got to use the rules, and you got to move militant. You got to be smart, and you got to be safe in the real world and in the digital world. But hey, the Purpose community is open. The link is in the description. Join us. It's a 7-day free trial. If you don't have $47, don't do it. Don't join it. Just wait till you get in a better position. It's gonna feel like $4,700 worth of value every month, but just don't hurt your bank account. Don't do that. I don't want you to do that. For the people that's in there on the free trial, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna give y'all a tip tomorrow on our class of how you could pick your board of directors, your people that you're gonna be able to trust on this journey. I'm gonna give y'all a little plan to help you with your $47, and it's also gonna help you in your business and your brand and your purpose and what you're trying to build. But hey, so y'all, hey, go on, join. And listen, it's hard to put yourself out there. Like, a lot of times people confuse things and they look at it and they say, well, it's some people that won't join the Purpose community because they feel like they're making me rich. They feel like they $47 gonna buy me a house in the Amalfi Coast, and they like, oh, he already sitting in some exotic, I ain't finna support him because I don't want to put no dollar in his pocket. And so they don't think about what they can gain and what they can get out of it. And that's exactly why I put a price on it, because if I made it free, everybody and their mama, all the demons gonna be in there too. So knowing that it's still gonna be a couple demons in there, I need to tax them at the door. I got to charge them at the door. You got to pay to get in. Now it's gonna be a lot of demons that get on that 7-day free trial. So that 7-day free trial is only temporary. That 7-day free trial is only until we get our first 100 active members. When we get our first 100 active members, I realize many are called and few are chosen. So I understand I can't take everybody with me. I understand. So if all I have is 100 people, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And so when we get 100 of active members not on free trial, oh, taking that off, because you're gonna have demons get in there. It's demons get in there. They want to see what I'm doing. They want to see how I'm doing it. They will come and literally steal everything I'm doing. They'll literally come steal everything, and then they will. And I'm gonna tell y'all what these folk do. They emulate my talking points. For those of y'all who really listen to me, you know you've heard people online saying exactly what I say. They will take and teach my talking points, and they be a fraud and they be a scam. But they do it the same reason the devil quotes scripture. Because they get you to drop your guards by saying what somebody who is honest and living a true and real life for the Lord, they say the same thing. So you say, oh, that sounds familiar. Tony said that. So if they saying the same thing Tony say, that means I could trust him. And he might be a single fornicating relationship coach. And you will drop your guard and trust him because he taught the same concept or the similar concept that I taught. That's how the devil moves. So the demons is going to sign up for the 7-day free trial. Some of them will pay to be in there a little longer to see what we putting down in there. Now, right now, I'm going to tell this to the men. Right now, we only have 2 men in there. We need more men in there. And only one of them is paid. One of them is my guy, my mentee, you know, my homeboy Pierre. So he not a paid member. He my guest. And all my solopreneur. And Pierre, he like one of the moderators on there too. Pierre's married. He's married. And to my knowledge, he's faithful. And I've done 2 retreats. Him and his wife have come on both retreats. The Bali retreat and the Costa Rica retreat. I really like Pierre. Good dude. Good dude. And he's in there. And it's one other gentleman in there. I seen him. Shout out to your brother. Maybe he seen me on Instagram. He worked with music artists, his bio said. He worked with music artists or producers or something like that. So God bless you, brother. Appreciate you in there. So we need more men in there. Y'all know that's the typical thing that the men just don't be liking to get help for whatever reason. Don't be liking to learn. Don't be liking to grow. I do not know why, and that's why I be telling y'all when y'all be like, Tony, talk to them men, talk to them men. I am a man. I know men. I know that if I want to reach a man, I got to reach his woman. I have to give her the game so she can hold him accountable because she got between her legs what he want. And that's all we respond to. We don't listen to nobody more than the woman we sleeping with. If she talking right. Now, if she talking dumb, we ain't gonna listen to her either. But if she talking right, we'll listen. And that's just how men are. That's why David fell from grace for a woman, for Bathsheba. That's why Adam fell from grace for Eve. That's why Samson lost his strength for Delilah. A woman has all the influence in a man's life. As men, we don't even like to listen to our daddy. We don't listen to our brother. We don't listen to our granddaddy until our D is in the dirt. My cousin used to say that, man. Man, cuz my D in the dirt. The D word, D-I-C in the last level. Until our D in the dirt, that's when we listen to a man. Other than that, we got to go figure it out on our own. We got to go test the waters and see what it's about. Men don't listen to men. And when I say that, I don't mean it like every single man. There's some men who will listen. But even then, it's conditional. I got a brother. I got a brother who he came to me, signed up for my courses, talking to me. We on the phone, we talking. Next thing you know, I get an email from his wife. Say that he having an affair on her and he divorcing her. This guy right here in my proximity. Same thing with Torrey Roberts. I know Torrey. I'm at his house. Me and my wife at his house with his ex-wife. He know me. He hired me to help him build on his Twitter. This man could have called me and said, me and my wife going through. Never called me. And the reason why I'm sharing that is because I don't want people to think, because people knew that I was connected to him. His whole church knew I was connected to him. So I don't want them to think that I condone that. I don't want that smut on my name. I don't want the thousands of people that I spoke to at his church, because I preached at his church 3 times. I don't want them to look at me and be like, well, they probably did, and they probably thought I was the same. When Derrick Jackson cheated on his wife, I lost 3,000 or 4,000 followers that day on Twitter or Instagram. And I had probably 5 to 10 women email in that same day and say, please delete my account from Tony Gaskins Academy. Because there was a drunk lady online that called herself a whistleblower who was saying Tony Gaskins and R.C. Blake's is next. Y'all gonna see. Well, how about this, dummy? Where my scandal at, dummy? She was over there. Tony Gaskins, I got receipts on her. It's gonna come out one day. It's gonna come out one day. Y'all gonna see. It's been years. You still over there waiting, dummy? Keep my name out your mouth and shut up. She was over there, I mean, just bumping her gun. I'm like, ma'am, you don't even know me. Better be glad I ain't in the streets. I would have had my wife drag her, beat the brakes off her. I'm like, man, you don't even know me. And it's like, how is you a spiritual whistleblower and you blind? If you can't see how close I am to God, then you definitely ain't blowing nothing but some dang-a-lang. You definitely ain't no spiritual whistleblower if you can't tell who I am If you can't see how I live, God don't know you. Because if God know you, he gonna tell you who I am. He gonna tell you how I live my life. I don't play around. And listen, I got the most beautiful clients in the world. It's men come to me all the time. Pro athletes come to me. Y'all don't realize I am paid $20,000 by pro athletes to match make for them because they see the women who follow me. Y'all don't realize that. I am a professional matchmaker. I have the pick of the most coveted and the most desired women in the world that follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And I don't talk to none of them. Don't touch now one of them. You know why? I got Cherie Gaskins. And I'm going to tell you like this right here. God will send you who you need for you. I done talked to thousands of women. And I would not trade my wife for not one woman that I have ever talked to. Because she is built and wired for me. It's not a single woman that I done talked to that could handle my darkness, that could handle my spiritual warfare, that could handle me at my lowest. Not a single woman I done talked to. Because spirits know spirits. And God gave my wife something that when I'm going through, she the only one that got the power to go with me. She the only one. And so I thank God for her. And that's why when I'm up, she up. When I'm down, she down. It's times, man, I'm as an entrepreneur, I became a full-time entrepreneur at 27. If you go on YouTube right now, you'll see people saying influencers and creators are going back to work. I ain't going back to work for nobody. I got to work for the Lord. I lose what I got to lose. This here Sprinter that I'm in, I paid $150,000 for it. It's paid off. If I get down bad, I'll sell it. I'll sell it. That Bentley that's in the garage that I gave my daddy is paid off. If I get down bad, I'll say, Dad, I need to sell that Bentley. Hey, listen, tell you like that right now. My mama Benz is paid off. Get down bad, mama, I need to sell that Benz. I seen my homeboy buy his mama a house. He got down bad, he sold his mama house. I pray to God I never have to do that. Pray to God I never have to do it. But listen to me. I'm tell you like that right here. Wouldn't trade my wife for nothing in the world. But as an entrepreneur, it's time to I done had cars repossessed. I done been down. They had to ruin credit. You have to go through. That's why I created the purpose arc. When you see the arc, when you read about the arc, and we're gonna talk about the arc. We got a live seminar in Tampa Bay, Florida, November 28th. My wife, she went with me. And when I was down, she ain't beat up on me. She laughed harder. She smiled more. She made more love to me. She didn't make me feel like a punk or a peon. She said, whatever we don't have, whatever we can't spend, wherever we can't go, whatever we can't do. She ain't get her hair done. She ain't get her nails done. She ain't get her feet done. So when you go in my wife's closet and you see 20, 30 Chanel bags, Dior bags, 20, 30 Louis Vuitton bags, that was me making up for the times that I was down as a man. And she was there for me. My wife have an Escalade, a Range Rover, and a C300 convertible Benz. She let me drive the Range Rover, her mama drive the convertible, and she drive the Escalade. I bought her 3 cars so that however you feeling, if you want to let the top down, let your hair down, get in your convertible. If you want a little vroom in the room with the zoom, get in your Range Rover SVR. If you want a little space and a little luxury ride, get in your Escalade, because you were down with me. You were down with me. When my D was in the dirt, you stood beside me. Before I had a dime, before I had a name, Before anybody knew my name, my wife was there. And I'm gonna tell y'all something now that I ain't authorized to tell, but I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm not telling you to do this. I don't want you to do this. I do not want you to do this. When I got back with my wife, I was full time in the street. I went and got a job. But when I got that job, I had a little bit of work. I got a call while I was at work, and I said, baby, hey, such and such need a dime bag. You'll take it to him? Her and her roommate, she had a little white roommate, an Italian. Her and her roommate went to the Hispanic boy. That was my first client. With that quarter pound of mid, with the scale and the seals that my sister gave me from her baby daddy. I bust that ziplock open and put it in that Hispanic nose. He was sitting in a little car, one little fast car, little Civics with a little engine on it. And you know how them Hispanics, they had them eyebrows arched, they be crispy, boy. I bust that ziplock, put it in the nose, smell that, boy. He said, "Ooh, man, that's good, boy. That's quality, man. Where you get that from, Holmes?" I said, "Yeah, don't worry about that, bro. $10. Gave him $10. He became a client. He came back to me every week. Sometimes he'll buy a quarter pound. My wife went and delivered that. He called me. He said, "Yo, hey, yo, man, you are the man. Oh my goodness, man, who are you, dude? Who were those bad chicks that you just had bring me the weed?" He said, "Wow, who are you? I never had a drug dealer do that before. Man, them girls were beautiful." I said, "That's my wife." I say, "The black one, that's my wife. The white one, you can have her. She an Italian." And it was one more delivery. Had me a girl, my auntie called her the bulldogger, because that's what she was. She had women. I don't know the term for it. The clinical term or the whatever term is lesbian. But they used to use a different word for themselves. I think they call themselves a dyke or something like that. I don't know what a dyke is now, y'all, so don't try to hang me at the stake. I don't know what a dyke is. I don't even know how you spell it. Had one of them that was one of my clients. She called me, "Hey, Tony, what's up, boy? Hey, you already know. Need that." So I said, "All right, man, I'm gonna send somebody to you to the pool. Go to the pool. I'll meet you at the pool." Or I had a meet you at the pool. My wife went, delivered it. And the girl called me, "Tony, who was that? Boy, she bad." I said, "Oh, hold on now. Hold on now. Don't get your scrap up. Don't let your scrap on get excited. That's my wife. Hold on now." I can't remember her name. Probably was Tina or T or something. "Hold on now. Don't get your scrap on excited. That is my wife. Calm down." I put my wife at risk and for a little bit, because I'm gonna tell you what she did though. She left me after the first 2 months we was together, and we was apart for 6 months. But after the first time we met, she told her roommate, the Italian, that she think I'm her husband. But then when she saw I was a little crazy, she broke up with me. And she said, "We need a break." So I went back to my ex, who was in Atlanta at Spelman, and was hell in her life for the next 6 months. My wife went back to her ex, who I had kind of took her from, and she broke up with him after 2 months because he cheated on her. So when I bumped back into her, because my homeboy wanted to hit the Italian, her roommate, and didn't show up, my wife had to not talk to me for 6 months. We hadn't talked. And she missed me. And I think she thought I let the one get away. So the reason why she compromised herself like that in the beginning was to get her hooks in me. Once she got her hooks in me, she put her foot down and she said, "You got to leave the streets." Once she knew she had me, she said, "You got to leave the streets." And I said, I'm like, "What? Leave the street? Like your behind was out there with me. Like, you did a drive-by with me. You was out there delivering the work for me. You used to bag it up. You were weighing it and bagging it. And anytime I brought my money home, I used to bring wads of cash home. She would, I like all my faces facing the same way. So she used to always have to take the cash and flip it, because I just grab it from people when I'm selling. And then when I get home, I give it to her, and she have to flip all the cash, flip all the bills. And so even to this day, if I have a wad of cash, my wife flip the faces for me. They have them all facing the same way. And she's like, oh my goodness, you messed me up. She was like, man, I've never stopped flipping this cash since right then. So I just gave y'all something right there that nobody knew. That's why the Purpose Pushers community was started. And I ain't want to tell that because I said my wife need to tell her own story, but she know, she understand. She did enough to get her hooks in me, and guess what? She got me out of them streets. She got me out of them streets. And me and brother RC Blake might do us a podcast one day. He busy right now though. I didn't know he had 7 churches or 8 churches. I didn't know that, but one of the guys he put me with, who he sent me an insurance agent for my agency, because I'm trying to work with brother RC Blake to get all his people life insurance, like I'm trying to get all my people life insurance. So he sent me one of the members from his church, and he told me, he said, you know, Bishop got 7 churches. I said, no, I ain't know that. I said, I just thought his name was Bishop. I said, I ain't know he had churches. I ain't know he was a real bishop, like up there preaching. I said, I ain't know that. I just thought he was a YouTuber. I ain't know that. So the brother busy, but one day we'll sit down and get us do an old podcast. But hey, the stories I'm telling y'all, for one, it can't nothing happen from it. It ain't like I was a criminology major in college. Because I was in the streets getting my hand dirty, I changed my major from business management to criminology because I wanted to know the laws. Because I was really I'm a go-getter. I'm ambitious. So I was like, if I'm out here, I want to be the biggest at it. I want to be the best at it. So if I got to go to college to get these refund checks, I'm finna take criminology so I know my rights and I know the laws. And so that's how I tell y'all these stories, because I know it's nothing that could happen to me from it. They gotta have evidence. They gotta be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that what I'm saying actually happened and it did harm to somebody and all of this right here. It ain't nothing they could just pin on me and just blam blam. But I'm sharing this so y'all can understand the redeeming power of God. A lot of people don't believe in God, and a lot of people don't believe in the redeeming power of God. And what God has done for me, and what God has done for my marriage, for me and my wife, what God has done for my family, and the purpose arc that he gave me, the purpose formula that he gave me, the blueprint that he gave me, all of those things, that's what I know now I am tasked with sharing with you. That's what I have to share with you now. That's what I have to give you. So click the link in the description. Join the purpose arc. It says 47, but 47 a month. But if you go on the computer, or maybe it might be on the app, you will see where it says start the 7-day free trial. And so we got class Saturday, may have it Sunday as well. I want to give a good initial, like kickoff to, even though it's just a free trial. I want you to know what we're about, what we're going to be talking on. And those videos will be archived and put in there on the recordings. All the recorded videos will be uploaded and put in there. And but hey, God bless y'all. Keep your head up. Keep going. I'm gonna beat my wife too, getting inside and getting ready for our little in-home date tonight. But God bless you, and thank y'all. When last I checked, had about 30 members in the Purpose Pushers. Thank y'all so much. Everybody who already joined, God bless you. I appreciate you, love you, need you, and I'm gonna give you everything I got. So I appreciate you. If you're in the solopreneur, check your email, because I already sent you the link to join. But God bless you. We'll talk soon. Y'all know I say God bless you 15 times.